So I am back because I finally figured out, I believe, the multicasting with with Instagram. And since there's so many sutras, I will use this opportunity to uh, use what I just learned in technology and multicasting and multi-streaming to multiple platforms at the same time. And two, use it as an advantage, an opportunity to talk about Sutra 3, Book 1, Sutra 3, which is in Sanskrit, Tada Drashtu Swarupe Ashvanam. So this has many translations, and I want to make it pertinent to our lives here in the West and in this country, in this culture. It's not, these sutras are applicable to our everyday lives. And if you look at the previous videos, you'll see that I am absolutely convinced, and I see and hopefully prove to you in these videos that this wisdom is timeless, and every single self-help book that I've read, and there are a lot of them, that I found that wisdom in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali in a very big way. So what does that sentence mean? There are many translations. One is, and then the seer abides in its true nature. Kind of complicated. What does that mean? There's another translation. Or when the agitated thoughts are stilled, you'll be able to see your true nature. So these three sutras in Book 1 need to be taken together. The first sutra is a wake-up call. Hello, be present. You have to be in the now. Be fully here. We are about to learn stuff that's important, and the point of empowerment is always in the present moment. Second, the definition of yoga is calming of the agitated thoughts in our mind, okay? Which is actually the live stream that just happened before this one. So there's more on that, the three parts of the mind, which is our subconscious, our intellectual mind, and our ego. Translated, that is manas, buddhi, and ahamkara. So settle the thoughts. That's yoga, learning how to calm the fluctuations of our mind, identify when those fluctuations are playing havoc with our emotions and our lives. And the third one is when we do that, when we can observe those thoughts and catch the ego, that is when we are in our higher self. That is when we are the seer. We are observing our thoughts. We are not defined by them. There's a very different thing of saying, I am sad versus I am feeling sad. There is more of a distance between I am feeling sad than I am sad, and self-defining ourselves as such. If we can observe that we are feeling sad, we are in that state of the observer, or sometimes called the seer. And in that state, it's wise to take a little bit of distance to observe what's going on. So have you ever been in a discussion, a lively discussion that is perhaps not pleasant, and your first reaction is that you want to butt in and say something, and then you notice that you want to do that, and you take a step back and go, Let me take a 3-second break before I answer that. Have a repartee or a quick, maybe sharp response that I may regret later. So we are human. Hello. If you're watching this, you probably are a human. Unless you're a cat or a dog and your owner left this particular channel on for you to watch. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. Have to be light about these things. However, we're human, and life for all of us has ups and downs, momentous, pleasant times, and moments that are not. And as long as we're human and in the bodies that we're blessed with, we will have emotions. This sutra is saying that if we can distance ourselves from those emotions and observe them, be the observer, be the seer, that is where we take a couple of steps on that path to self-realization. So I had a couple of things that I wrote down that I want to make sure. This is a great analogy. So imagine that there's a car. It's past inspection. It's a vehicle. It can start. It can go. It can turn left. It can turn right. However, it can only do that if you get in the car, turn the keys, and turn it on, and move the car. So, with that analogy, our emotions and everything that's happening around us in our lives is the vehicle. However, we are the driver. We have the power to choose. So, this is very important. Because how many times have I been carried away by my emotions, whether it be on a positive or a negative, or anywhere in between, because there is a palette of so many shades and hues of our emotions that we can get carried away with it. The key is to take that distance and observe. And that is the first real few steps of that path of self-awareness, self-realization, connecting with our higher self, our seer, our observer. And how do we do that? So there is a practice in the West that is copyrighted that is called mindful awareness. However, they did take a lot of the jewels and nuggets of the East and put it into this training. So very simply, mindful awareness is staying present, Sutra 1, observing without judgment what is happening, which is Sutra 2, calming those fluctuations of the mind, and staying in that space. So, for example, a mindful awareness practice could be something like this. I can hear myself speak. I can feel my connectedness of my seat. I can feel the temperature of the room on my skin. I can hear the hum of the laptop that is live streaming, multicasting, perhaps this time to 3 different platforms at the same time. So I'm observing my body. Now let's step a little deeper. I'm feeling a little tired because I've recorded a couple of times already today, but I'm also feeling excited because I understood what didn't happen in the past to make this a reality. I understand now, and I'm feeling good that I understood that.
And I'm feeling optimistic that this will actually live stream on 3 platforms. That's just a mindful awareness of this present moment that I am in right now. But this can be practiced at any time. So I'll give an example. One of my sons used to play rugby, and often it wasn't local, so I'd have to drive to a place, and because of traffic and whatever, I would have to stay at that place because it didn't make sense for me to drive back home. And I would sit in the car, and I remember once very vividly, I was like, oh, I can't believe this. I was like, okay, why don't I use this mindful awareness and ease into meditation. I observed the rain. Yes, they were playing in the rain. The sound on top of the car, how I was feeling in my body, what I was feeling in my body at that time, my coat feeling bulky, but feeling warm, glad I was in the car. And then I moved into how my emotional landscape was. After that, moved to focus only on the breath. Only on the breath, as if nothing else exists. I can feel the breath moving in through my nose, down the back of the throat. I can feel it moving into the lungs, observing which parts of the body are moving as I breathe, as if nothing else exists. So there's this inner dialogue. I'm engaging my intellectual mind. I'm engaging the chitta to stay present, coaxing it. And then I move to a place where I could be still on the inside. I wasn't thinking about shopping lists. I wasn't thinking about anything else. And that mantra, please do see the previous videos on that inhale, thinking the word present. On the exhale, thinking the word moment. Observing the space between the inhale and the exhale. And boom, practice was over. And my son, completely muddy and a little stinky, came into the car, just like that. So before I end this video on the 3rd sutra of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, book 1, let's do this together. Let's do this together. Right now, observe, and you can always pause this video, come back to it. This is live stream. If you're watching it live stream, then you can't. But if you have the privilege of a little bit of time, observe how the body feels. Your body in the space that you're in right now. Without any judgment. That's key. Just observe what you're feeling. That's all. All right? Observe what you're feeling. Take a few moments to do that. Observe my voice. Perhaps the sensation of the clothes against the skin. Perhaps there are sounds in the space that you're in. Perhaps you ate something or drank something before you watch this video, and that taste is still in the mouth. Perhaps the eyes are open and you can see the screen. Perhaps they're downcast or closed. Move to that breath for a few moments. How does this breath feel moving in the body and moving out? Which parts of the body are moving? Can you feel the breath in the back body, in the front? In the side? Our diaphragm actually expands out to the side. as we breathe in and then we breathe out. Check in with the emotions. How are you feeling? Attach nothing else to that. No judgment. I am feeling. I am feeling. Notice that you can observe the feeling, that you are the driver of the car. The emotions are not in control of you. You are in control of you. There's also a fantastic book called Emotional Intelligence, where the West and the East meet and shake hands. Part of this journey as well. Notice these emotions. It is just an emotion. It does not define who I am. I observe it. I can feel it and move to the other side. Go through it. Take a big breath in and let go of that. So that is Sutra number 3. So if you have ever in any book, a self-help book, read about advice like take 3 seconds before answering in a lively fight or discussion or disagreement. Take 3 seconds before responding. This is Sutra 3. That is advice from Sutra 3. If you've ever heard someone say focus on the breath and just the space in between the breaths, that is also part of this yoga practice, a key part of this yoga practice. Observe, have you ever heard or read any of these wonderful self-help teachers say that it's just a thought? It's a feeling, and the feeling comes from a thought. And I can change the thought, then I can change the feeling. Sutra 3, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Yes. A few of my favorite authors, contemporaneous authors, self-help authors, do talk about this. So that is Sutra 3, Book 1 of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. I hope that you enjoyed it. And my intention is that next week I will multicast a full yoga class with this theme of being aware, stepping back, being the observer, the seer, as that the direction that will take us to self-realization and ultimately peace and happiness. So with that, I will sign off. Oh, I do want to say, wherever you're watching this, please do subscribe if you're on YouTube. Feel free to follow us on Facebook, Westchester Yoga Arts. Follow on Instagram, Westchester Yoga. Our website is wyoga.online. So W for Westchester Yoga.online. So instead of .com, it's .online. And